Welcome to Joy Newsroom with me, Faustina Safo. We're live on DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 125, and all our social media platforms around the world on myjoyonline.com. Coming up within the next 60 minutes, scuffle breaks out between Stop Galamsey Now protesters and personnel of the Ghana Police Service, resulting in the arrest of 10 demonstrators.
10 years old, arrested for no more Galamsey. 62 years, 10 years, arrested for no more Galamsey. Not that we committed a crime, not that we beat anybody, but we said no more Galamsey.
We have details as the police says it will use legal means to prevent the disruption of traffic flow today. Also in this bulletin, the governing New Patriotic Party has dismissed as laughable accusations that it swapped its position with the on the presidential ballot with the Liberal Party of Ghana.
Mr. Macmenu, Mr. Kofi Akpaloo, presidential candidate for a political party, love New Patriotic Party, our presidential candidate, so much that when he had balloted for his position, he was swapped.
We are 76 days away from 2024 general election. My name is Faustina Safo. We'll be back with details. Thanks for choosing us for your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. Now, 10 Stop Galamsey Now protesters have been arrested by the police after a scuffle broke out among them. Attempts by the demonstrators to continue day 2 of their protest at the 37 roundabout were foiled by the police. We'll listen to the convener of Fix the Country movement, Baka Vamawo, shortly on why some of the protesters have been whisked away by the police. But now let's take you to my colleague Maxwell Agwekba on the ground to give us a wrap of what actually happened. Maxwell, I'm hoping I have better connection to you. Maxwell, can you hear me? Please, what happened? Well, if you just tuned in, we're reporting that 10 protesters have been whisked away by the police. The protesters hit the streets to protest what they call government's inactive fight against illegal mining. They're demanding immediate moves by government to end the menace. The Ghana Water Company already served notice that Ghana may be forced to import water in the future, because now they are spending 3 times as much to purify the water that comes through your taps. And this is one of the key reasons for the protest today. The president put his presidency on the line, and on your screens now are visuals of what actually happened. The presidency, we know, put his presidency on the line when this started. And so people are asking for immediate action. I'm hoping I have better connection now to Maxwell Agwekba. Maxwell, explain to us what happened and why were these protesters whisked away in the first place? Well, I'm told there's a little delay in taking you to Maxwell Agwekba, who is on the ground. He's been monitoring the protest. I'm told I have better connection to him now. Maxwell, over to you. Did you see myself?
Ghana youth for the country, the nation demands no devotion. Let us all unite and make our nation strong. We are all involved. We are all involved. We are all involved. And making our motherland. Ghana youth for the
Yeah, hello, can you? Okay. Well, so, no, make somebody. Well, a scuffle just broke out here between. Okay, so Oliver, let's see what is happening here. Let's see what is happening here. Let's see what is happening here. A scuffle just broke out between personnel of the Ghana Police Service and the Convener of the Democracy Hub. Growing agitations here. Growing agitations here.
What did you do? I told you. And I told you.
Growing agitation here.
I told you we're not here to find nobody. We're not here to find nobody. We're not here to find nobody. No, we're not here to find nobody. Why is he pushing the bike?
If anybody pushes this, I'm coming. Anybody who pushes this, I'll cause his arrest.
No, we're not here to find
anybody who pushes this, I'll cause his arrest.
We're not here to find nobody.
Wallahi.
We're not here to find nobody.
If anybody thinks he's a man,
Anybody who pushes it, that's what.
yes.
We're not here to find no one.
Talk to them then.
No, sir,
talk to them.
Yes,
I know you very well.
Yes.
Talk to them.
We're just having our placards.
I said talk to them.
Sure.
Will you talk?
We are hearing a conversation going on right now between police personnel here, the leader of the police team here, and the protesters.
My only concern is, yes, no, they are, listen, we're just peacefully carrying the placards just around the perimeter, and they were sacked. No, when you told that, because we went to elect 3 months ahead. We went to elect 3 months ahead.
Do you want us to dialogue?
No, exactly.
So I'm talking, you are talking. Is there any communication?
Communication
is reciprocal.
Exactly.
Some of us have gone to school small, please.
We're trying to have that.
Communication is reciprocal. And I'm
that.
telling you, we don't want anybody in the perimeter. Finish. But if they become violent,
well, we're hearing that they've arrested. They want to tow. No. So we understand personnel of the Ghana Police Service want to tow the truck owned by the protesters, and they want to tow the truck. Let's see how this is going to pan out. Earlier, a scuffle broke out. Broke out between the protesters and the demonstrators. Yeah, gotcha. Another scuffle breaking out. Yeah. Personnel of the Ghana Police Service want to tow the truck owned by the protesters away. And the protesters are at this point resisting this. They are saying they will not allow the Ghana Police Service to tow the vehicle. And they are resisting the attempt to tow the vehicle. Scores of police officers now trying to get them to move. There's a scuffle breaking out right now. There's a scuffle now between. So you can see what is happening right now in the background. Oh! You can see that. Sorry, sir. The Ghana Police Service towing the car. There's another scuffle breaking out at the end there. Let's go there. It's beginning to get chaotic now. Personnel of the Ghana Police Service trying to arrest one of the protesters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 police officers. 9 police officers trying to drag one of the protesters away. His colleagues will join. Quite a number of them with shields. None on the street. Police still trying to take this demonstrator away. His friends resisting the attempt to take him away. Now he's down on the floor with some of the policemen. It's a big struggle.
You guys, mishandling my
It's getting a bit chaotic here. It's getting chaotic right now. So one protester, one demonstrator from the Democratic Hub has been arrested. The gentleman has now been arrested by the police, taken away now.
You police officers, because you are getting some job. If it's time of you can make afford rent. Can't they stop the Galamsey? Can't they stop the
Another person arrested. Second person arrested. So 2 people now arrested.
Just telling the truth.
Okay.
Just joking. Hey! You guys are joking. Oh! Hey, Ghana! No. The guy that they arrested, I know that you have this man. That guy a lot. I know
it's getting a bit chaotic here.
Stop doing Galamsey. Just stop Galamsey for us. We want our mother Ghana back. We want our mother Ghana back. Oh. We want it back. Yo.
Let's so two protesters have now been arrested by personnel of the Ghana Police Service. They want to tow the truck, and you can see quite a number of the personnel in face shield and route control gear towing the vehicle. So far, 2 people have been arrested. Not. So far, 2 protesters have been arrested by personnel of the Ghana Police Service. Police earlier served notice it would use all legal means to arrest the protesters, I should say, if they go beyond their boundaries today. And it looks like that is exactly what they are doing here today. Quite different from the Ghana Police Service we saw yesterday. PRO from Ghana Police Service yesterday said they came with a de-escalation mindset. It looks different here today. Let's see what's happening here. One of the protesters.
One of your leaders. No, it's not violence. I'm just talking to you. I'm just talking to you. Yeah, I'm talking. It's in pain. It's in pain. Cinema, yeah, na pray. Oh, pray. We know because it's ensure say poison. So I'm going to. Usu numbi. Wow. I was saying what going. Police.
Now the truck. The truck owned by the protesters has been carried away.
Stop the cars. Come. We'll move to the bus. Come back in the place. The policeman won't come for that guy. That's it. Your boy telling you an old man to stop that, say you come and arrest him. Just to tell you to stop that, say.
A monthly 5,000 now. 30,000 now.
I can make a media police station, eh? I can make a media police station, eh? Yes! Yes! Yeah, police station, our leaders. No publicity. We need clean water. They need clean water. They are tomorrow's leaders. They will not chop your pension. They will not chop your savings. They need clean water.
Well, there you have it on your screens, what ensued earlier, protesters clashing with the police. We're told this happened because the protesters tried to use unapproved routes forcing the police to form human barricade, and the protesters tried to push through. We're told so far 10 people have been arrested. Well, the convener for Demonstration Democracy Hub, one of the key conveners, Oliver Bakavomo, ran to join news to seek shelter when this happened. Let's listen to him. We'll take you back to Maxwell Agwagwa, who is on the ground live, but let's listen to his interaction with my colleague Elton Brobe.
Many Ghanaians would have seen today, the police have descended upon demonstrators at the grounds, persons who have been demonstrating from yesterday peacefully. The police have refused to engage with us and now have set upon, first of all, they've towed away our public address systems, and they've set themselves upon the protesters, brutalizing and arresting. And in particular, in my case, several hundred of them tried to arrest me, and I was able to get away and come to the studios of Joy on a motorbike.
Why this sudden change of approach?
We don't know. Since morning, we wrote a letter to the Ghana Police Service, particularly because when we woke up, they had released a statement at 3 a.m. signaling their intention to use force against protesters. We replied to the press statement they issued and wrote an urgent letter. We called the Greater Accra Regional Police Commander, Ahin. We called the Greater Accra Police Regional Lawyer, Bani. We have written to the Inspector General of Police. We've demanded an urgent meeting at 10 a.m. They reverted to say that they are not interested in dialogue at this point. So at this point, the institution itself is not interested in a conversation with organizers in order to ensure that demonstration continues to proceed peacefully. Now, we don't know where this change in approach and direction is coming from. They have shown every deal with the conversation around stopping Galamsey and creating accountability around that. And we're using this medium. The reason why I've come to Joy straight from the grounds is that we're using this medium to appeal to all those civil society organizations. And there are several hundreds of them that have released statements calling for urgent action on this issue. This is not a face the country fight. This is not a few young people's fight. This is for all of us. And it is not enough to continue to sit and use the same old discarded approaches. Writing letters do not work. We must engage seriously in the process of mobilizing young people, mobilizing our community to become participants in the conversation. We cannot take an elite-driven approach to this issue. Every Ghanaian must feel implicated and involved in order to stand forth and speak forth. Now, we are taking this approach in order to ensure that many young people can also show that, in addition to the written approaches, there must be an integrated and more sustainable and a community-driven approach in bringing everybody behind this call. So it is not enough to segregate ourselves into various caucuses. And if it's an individual or with anybody else we are organizing with, remember that the environment is not my responsibility or those of us who are standing here. It is all of us our responsibility. And so if we say we care about this, we cannot sit aloof and watch as young people are being brutalized by our Ghana Police Service. Individuals who have failed us in the fight against stopping our waters being poisoned. I do not understand how many more audios, how many more documentaries Joy has to produce for us to draw attention to this issue. It is not enough anymore to sit on the sidelines. We must speak and we must engage this issue now.
So are you saying that despite the police, changing approach, the demonstration is still ongoing?
Our resolve is that the demonstration is going to continue. And if they continue to frustrate us, we'll go beyond the 3 days that we notified them of. Because this is not an issue where we are going to sit silent and watch our water bodies being destroyed.
Oliver Bakavomo there explaining what actually happened. And this happened at 37 and that area. We told you earlier that a scuffle ensued between the police and protesters. The protesters tried to push through a human barricade created by the police because they tried to use unapproved routes in their demonstration. My colleague Maxwell Agwagwa was there when all this happened, and coming up on your screen shortly, will show you how Oliver Bakavomo escaped arrest from the police and ran to seek shelter here at Joy FM. And it's coming up on your screen shortly because so much chaos happened on the ground. So far, we are told 10 people have been arrested. The police is trying to maintain law and order. They have so far called for reinforcement on the grounds. Well, we know that turnout for this protest has been quite low. Nonetheless, we're seeing on your screens now his interaction before he ran to seek shelter here at Joy News. Let's listen in.
Watch out. Watch out. Come back. Watch out. Continue filming. Okay. A second scuffle just broke out. A second scuffle just broke out. A second scuffle just broke out. Random arrests happening now. They are chasing the protesters in the street. They are chasing the
So there you have it, random arrests, and they had to chase some of the protesters. The police was trying so hard to ensure they do not use unapproved routes. And that is what happened, a scuffle between the police and protesters. That is what happened before Oliver Barker-Vormawor came to join us to seek shelter. We are told so far 10 people have been arrested. We'll take you back to the grounds. Although there has been low turnout for this protest, it's been quite active and heated today. Tension on the ground. Other protesters there venting their anger and frustration. They want to be given freedom to express their frustration. They feel that the police is stifling that freedom of theirs. We'll take you back to the ground and speak to my colleague Maxwell Agwagwa. He was covering this whole protest at the heart of the issue. Let's take you back to Maxwell Agwagwa. Maxwell, what can you report?
Oliver Barker-Vormawor just went away there on a motorbike. Can you zoom? He just left here on a motorbike. The police was attempting to arrest him. So you can see the police is advancing again. Random arrest, we are told now, trying to arrest the protesters. Now they are on the streets on the Gifford Road. You can see them, you can see the police officers in crowd control gear. About 100 of them in face shields and helmets. Trying to advance on the protesters and arrest them. That's interesting. The Ghana Police Service telling the protesters to wait for them. That is not going to be possible. Now they're advancing on them. Not!
Live here. Live here. Please. As that I don't find a movie using a movie without thinking.
The police is to protect life and properties. The police is to protect life and properties.
Look at me very well.
Tell me if the Galamsey lands are not part of the properties.
Nothing is stopping us.
Tell me if the Galamsey lands, the forest is not part of what the police are supposed to be protecting.
You people know what is going on. Now why you people are doing this?
Chief, remember I am blocking any of these people. Chief,
youth nearby. We are never going. What's up? Moya Daya, yank give up. Now the police going back to post. There's a second day.
Well, on your screens there, before coming to the studio, Ralph Williams, one of the key conveners of Democracy Hub. I'll be reading to you a statement that they've put out earlier today, just to serve notice that they will be putting together a press conference, and that's dated today, 22nd of September, 3 p.m. They say that the subjects they would discuss is the arrest of protesters, brutalities and other development from the hashtag Say No to Galamsey and Reoccupy Julobi House protests. They say the conference would address these key issues: one, the arrest and manhandling of protesters, the demand for the release of the 8-year-old arrested. So an 8-year-old was arrested according to them. And another key thing that they would be talking about today at that press conference is the refusal to disclose arrested persons and grant the right to counsel. They're also saying that they'll address the issue of the next meeting point and plans for this evening as well as tomorrow, and other developments from day 1 and day 2 of the protest. So let's go back to the ground for more action. My colleague Max Ogagwa bringing us up to speed as to what happened on the grounds, engaging Ralph Williams there. Let's listen in.
You've also been go ahead.
This country is for the youth, and the youth need to rise up and make sure that the rights of them is being protected. God bless our homeland, Ghana.
God bless you. Let him sit down. Youth, let him sit down.
So a number of protesters.
Scuffle breaks out between, please. Scuffle breaks out between.
So this is what happened on the grounds today. You saw heavy police reinforcement there on the ground as they tried to contain the protest, which has turned quite violent. We saw on our screens earlier some of the protesters whisked away in the police van. The police held a news conference after this to explain why exactly they arrested the protesters, and would see that in a bit. But we're just giving you an update as to what happened earlier today. A clash between the police and protesters as the protesters tried to, push through a human barricade created by the police. We are told this happened because the protesters tried to use unapproved routes and the police was forced to step in. In your screens, you see there Ralph Williams, one of the conveners for Democracy Hub, in the police van being whisked away. Earlier, we heard from Oliver Bakavomowo because he ran to seek shelter here at Joy News when this scuffle broke out between the police and protesters. He was one of the individuals the police attempted arresting as they tried to calm the situation on the ground. We're told so far 10 people have been arrested, and they're going to have a press conference. Democracy Hub, they would have a press conference at 3 p.m. to address some of these key issues. They allege that an 8-year-old was arrested by the police, and that 8-year-old was part of the protesters on the ground. And so we'll give you that when we have it. But then we're told the police held a press conference seeking to explain why exactly they arrested some of these individuals. And that's what has been happening. The No to Galamsey protests turned violent, though there has been low turnout for this protest. Yesterday, the police tried to ensure that they control traffic. There was heavy vehicular traffic. Today, we're seeing free flow of traffic, but then 10 protesters have been arrested. Let's listen in now live to the press conference held by the police immediately after those arrests.
We're going to do whatever it took to maintain the peace, ensure security, law and order. We therefore urge them to once again consider the 7 locations that police had proposed to them, and that today we would not allow any impediments within the area of the 37 intersection. We will ensure that there will be free flow of traffic and that the commuting public can commute freely and go about their business without any interference. This morning, we once again emphasize that the 7 locations are still available, and if the organizers will consider, police will be more than ready to provide the necessary security for them to undertake their exercise.
How did you serve them?
We are all here on the field, and we have observed, all of you being witnesses to the fact that the demonstrators once again tried to impede traffic, attempted to park a vehicle to block the intersection. Some of them tried pushing away police barricades and even some of our officers. As a result, the police was compelled, in the interest of law and order, to effect the arrest of the perpetrators. We will continue to keep the peace, and our assurance to the good people of Ghana is that the police are here, and we will fulfill our mandate of maintaining security, law and order without any hindrances whatsoever.
So far, how many people have been arrested so far?
How did you send them the notice?
Yesterday, we indicated in our release, we extended an invitation to them once again. That will be for how many times so many invitations would have extended to them. And in spite of that, we have all witnessed what the demonstrators engaged in, the unlawful acts they engaged in today.
They requested a meeting with you. What happened to that?
At 10 a.m. this morning.
When we are ready, we'll meet them. We are on the field now. We have a business here to ensure law and order. So that is what we are doing.
So far, how many people have been arrested?
I would have to check the numbers, and at the appropriate time, we will update you accordingly.
There's an elderly woman with a child within those arrested. How are you dealing with that?
I haven't seen the list of those arrested. When we have fully screened them, we'll update the public accordingly.
The convener of the demonstration told that you refused this morning their meeting because you were not interested in talking to them. Is it true?
The police will engage them when it is appropriate for us to do so. In the meantime, we are here to maintain security, law and order, and we'll make sure we do that.
Well, the Ghana Police Service, they're giving some clarity as to why exactly they arrested some of the protesters. Our report on the ground says they arrested about 10 of them. The police says they're yet to get full figure as to the exact number of people they've arrested. They explained to us that the main reason for the arrest is because some of the protesters tried to use unapproved routes, and they also tried to push through a human barricade created by the police to ensure they do not use those unapproved routes. The reason why they were compelled to arrest the protesters. Democracy Hub have served notice that at 3 p.m. they would be addressing a press conference, and some of the concerns the police have raised is that they have tried to reach out to them to get their buy-in and engage them, and that has not been successful. Some of the key things they say they would discuss today at that press meeting is the arrest and manhandling of protesters. Let me take you back to my colleague Maxwell Gbagba. He's been at the heart of this issue from when it started, engaging the protesters, the conveners of the group, as well as the police. And we told you earlier that scuffle broke out between the police and the protesters, compelling the police to arrest some of the protesters. Maxwell Gbagba joins us live with more. Maxwell, what's happening as we speak?
Well, Faustina, as you can rightly see behind me, the personnel of the Ghana Police Service are still maintaining a presence here at the 37 roundabout at this intersection. Gifford Road, Liberation Road, all taken over by the police on this intersection. And they tell us that they're leaving no stone unturned in ensuring that there's no disruption to traffic today. Yesterday, when we spoke to the Public Relations Office of the Ghana Police Service, she said that they came here with a de-escalation mindset. And it appears that today the approach is to ensure that there's no disruption to traffic flow whatsoever. And that's what we witnessed here about 2 hours ago when police officers prevented the protesters, some of them who were holding placards, who tried standing on the sidewalks, on the pavement and on the fringes of the road. They were disallowed by the police. Some of them resisted, and that broke out into the scuffle that we saw here just about 2 hours ago. Now, yesterday, the protesters were right in the middle of the streets here at this intersection, at this roundabout. They were even able to play football here on the streets as part of what they say is their way of de-escalating that situation. But today, the police is having none of that. Some of them even stood here, right here under the trees here, just about 30 meters away from where I'm standing. Yesterday, they were able to stand there. But now, the police crowd control team, it's present there right now, still trying to maintain their presence and ward off any protester who would want to get close and demonstrate. But we've picked up indications. In fact, one of the conveners of Fix the Country, Oliver Baka-Vomawo, posted on his Facebook page urging the protesters to mass up here at 3 o'clock p.m. And he says that there's going to be a press conference here. We are told there will be a press conference, likely going to be a press conference here at 3 p.m. So that's what he posted on his Facebook page about an hour ago. We're still keeping tabs to see what is likely going to happen, whether the protesters, will return here to the ground. But as it stands right now, there is no protester in sight. There's no demonstrator in sight. It's just the journalists who are reporting on the situation, who are also who are here, keeping their presence here to see how things, unfold here at the 37 roundabout, Faustina.
Maxwell Gbagba just giving us updates as to what exactly is happening If you are tuning in just now, we are reporting that 10 protesters have been arrested by the police as they tried to push through a police barricade when the police tried to ensure they do not use unapproved routes. Yesterday, they told us they were approaching this protest with a de-escalation mindset. That's what the police said. Today, they're trying so hard to ensure that there's free flow of traffic. And so we've been engaging both the police and the protesters. And we just gave you updates that at 3 p.m., Democracy Hub, organizers of this demonstration, will be holding a press conference as they seek to provide clarity as to what happened. And we're bringing you that live here on the Joy News channel. Do stay with us. We are your election headquarters, and it is brought to you by Petrosol Platinum Energy, Energizing Dreams, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, CIMA, and the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants. It is also brought to you by Chopbox Technologies and Youth Bridge Foundation, bridging the gap for positive youth development. Now, we will bring you some election-related story. One of the key things that happened before the weekend was concerns being raised by individuals at the EC headquarters about the numbers selected by different political parties. Now, the Director of Elections for the New Patriotic Party, Evans Nimaku, he has been clarifying some of these rumors that came up. One of the key concerns was that the party picked number 1 and then swapped that number 1 slot with the Liberal Party of Ghana's Kofi Akpaloo. Well, Evans has been clarifying on Newsfile that that indeed was not the case. Let's listen to him.
He sat direct opposite the New Patriotic Party. I sat Mr. Makmenu, Mr. Kofi Akpaloo, presidential candidate for a political party. Love New Patriotic Party, our presidential candidate, so much that when he had balloted for his position, he was swapped. I don't know where this is coming from, and we must not at any point entertain such idea or thought in our discourse. Not at all. Nothing out of that sort happened. I think we must throw this issue into the marine.
But for you, the entire process yesterday and the chaotic scenes that we witnessed between your side, the NDC side, on this particular issue, balloting should have degenerated into the scenes that we saw yesterday. Most people have described it as very disgraceful.
Well, I think that those opinions, you cannot vouch for their defense. But for me, we went in to honor the invitation from the Electoral Commission. The EC spelled out to us the mode of conduct of the whole exercise, spelled out the rules of the game. At a point, our colleagues NDC decided to examine the balls that the numbers were going to be placed into. And so Dr. Maneboama, Director, IT and Elections, the General Secretary, Honorable Fifi Kweti, took time to examine all the 9 balls in the big vase. When they were done, and they did this examination based on the nature, the form, the character, and the weight of that.
Well, that's it for the bulletin. For more news, please log on to myjoyonline.com. You want to stick and stay with us here on the Joy News channel, because at 3 p.m., Democracy Hub have served notice they would be organizing a press conference, and we'll bring you that live here on the Joy News channel. My name is Faustina Savo. Good afternoon.